Hello everyone, how's your life? And now we will learn about listening IPT with me, Annazul Fatuni'mah.
And I am Selvi Yuliani.
Okay, let's go, enjoy with our video.
Okay, as you know, in TOEFL there are EBT and PBT. The first is EBT. TOEFL EBT exam is given online through the internet as design testing sites. It's recommended that you have basic typing skills in order to complete this exam in a timely manner. This exam measures writing, reading, listening, and speaking skills. The test is administered very frequently throughout the year at various locations. The test takes about 3 until 4 hours to complete. This format of the exam is generally the only option students will have at most locations where they will be taking the TOEFL exam. And then, TOEFL PBT. This is very different with the TOEFL APT. This exam is administered via a paper and pencil format. The exam measures listening, reading, writing, and grammar skill. This exam is only offered in areas where the internet is not available. The test takes about 2.5 hours to complete. This exam is being phased out and the TOEFL EBT will be the primary TOEFL exam given to international students. And then, there are 5 types of listening EBT. The first is details, and then the second is main idea, and the third is relationship between the idea, and the fourth is understanding organization, and the fifth is speaker's objective. Okay, we are going to the first types of TOEFL EBT. The first type is detail. Detail is the question are roughly equivalent to the factual questions from the TOEFL reading section. They deal with specific facts from the listening section, but they are not usually as specific as detailed questions in the reading section. And the example of detailed question is, you will hear this dialogue. This dialogue is between female administrator and the male student. The female administrator says, Hi there, can I help you? And the male student say,
I really hope you can, I'm worried. I'm just really worried I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, well, don't panic, just relax. I'm sure we can deal with whatever's going on. What's the issue?
Well, I have received 2 spread statements about my tuition payments in the last week, and they seem to look like they kind of contradict each other.
After you hear this dialogue, and then the question is, what problem does the student have? A. He received another student tuition statement. And B, he received notice that his payment was late. And then the C, he forgot to pay tuition during a holiday week. And then the last is D, he has been barred from attending classes. So, for the explanation, for a question like this, remember to consider the beginning of the conversation. Specifically, why did the student go to the office? At first, he doesn't say specifically. He only says that he is afraid he'll be trouble. But then he gives more detail. He says this: I've received two separate statements about my tuition payment in the last week and they seem to, it looks like, kinda contradict each other. At that point, we know that the student problem is about his payment. But the actual problem isn't very clear. Only after a bit more information can we understand that the two statements are warning about paying his tuition. The answer choice is B. And then the next we are going to the second types of EBT TOEFL. There are inference. Inference question will usually look very similar to one of these examples. The first is what can be inferred from the professor's discussion of X. And then the second, what will the student probably do next? And the third is what is implied when the speaker says this. Usually, the speaker replies a short statement. The example of question is what can be inferred about the student? The first answer is he wants to stop getting notice from the college. And the second, his primary concern is being allowed to attend classes. And then the C answer is he wants to leave the intuition office quickly. And the fourth question, he is worried about accidentally paying tuition twice. Sometimes the question will replay a sentence from the recording for you. Other times you will need to rely on your notes and memory to answer the question. Unfortunately, your notes may not always be much help, since you cannot take notes on information that isn't there. So, when you're answering inference question, keep these pointers of mind. Never pick an answer that contradicts a main idea from the passage. And then, as you are listening, pay attention to the speaker's tone. And then, the correct answer will probably use some key words not found in the recording. And the implication is very similar to what's directly said, so you don't need to make a large logical jump. For the next type is relationship between the ideas.
Okay, relationship between the idea, it's mean connecting content question asks you to show understanding of the relationship among ideas in a lecture and might require you to fill in the chart or table. This one of the very few multiple choice listening question. The next is tips how to answer. First, hear the dialogue. Step in a process cause or even classification, make a prediction. The next is, if confused in finding word, choose the answer that is most different from what you have here. And the last is, understand the form of functional expression, agreement, suggestion, surprise, idiomatic expression, and the situation when the conversation is being held. For example, indicate whether each of the following activities describe a displacement activity by checking yes or no. Like this. First, in activity there is a 4 question, and if you answer it is, for example, in first question, intend instead of attacking the enemy, an animal attacks another object. If the question is wrong, you must to be checklist in the column no. And the second is, during its mating ritual, an animal suddenly leaves or files away. And the question is true, you must checklist in the column yes. And the next is, understanding organization question. Understanding organization question, it means the most typical question is, how is the lecture or talk organized? In order to answer this question correctly, you need to understand the organization of the lecture and the main theme and purpose of the talk or lecture. For example, the first question, which of the following most accurately defines at the carnivorous plant? A. It has the capacity to attract, trap, kill, and enhance its prey. B. It confines its prey for long periods of time in order to thrive. C. It absorbs the nutrients of insects and other plants. And D. It requires the nutrient-rich soil, sunlight, and an aquatic environment. And the next is information of organization. Speaker objective, TOEFL listening test. It means organization questions occur almost exclusively in lecture and are of their basic types. The first type will deal with the overall organization of the lecture. The second will ask you about the relationship between two or more parts of the lecture, and the third is similar to function question, but deals with a whole sentence. Okay, thank you. If there is a question, you read in the comment and comment. Thank you guys.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for watching. Bye.